Hey Point supporters, Pastor Matt here. It is 5 years. I can't believe it. It's flown by. And as I was thinking about 5 years, I wanted to shoot you guys just a message to say thank you and to share some of the impact that you've been a part of by supporting The Point. And one of the ways I wanted to share that impact was by sharing a little bit of the story of how we started. See, I came here to Knoxville 5.5 years ago, and I wanted to start a church that would connect the disconnected to Jesus. We wanted to do it through a vision of experience, connect, and reflect. And we were looking for an area where we could connect people that were a little younger, that weren't in church. And so I was looking all over the Bearden area to try to find an area where we could meet for church. And I was starting to get frustrated because I would spend day after day driving down this road we call Kingston Pike, looking for a place in the area I really felt like God was calling us to meet where we could worship. But I couldn't find anything. And one day I was frustrated, and I kept driving past the mall when I would go on Kingston Pike. And what I realized was, I drove past the mall a lot, but I'd never actually been inside the mall. So I pulled my car in and I started walking around this mall. It was a huge mall. I saw the Apple store, I saw a bunch of major retailers. It looked like a really nice mall compared to a lot of the malls I'd been to in the past. And as I was walking, I came across this right here. A little Regal Cinema kind of entrance. And to be honest with you, I figured a cinema in a mall would be pretty small, especially when you look at the size of that door. But, I didn't have anything better to do at the moment, and I was desperate to try to find a place we could meet, and I was just checking out the mall, so I decided to walk in. So what I did was I walked through the doors, and I went up the escalator, and what I saw next shocked me. See, when you're planting a church, that's kind of the crazy thing about planting a church, is you know God's got this vision and you know He wants to do something, but you're not quite sure what He wants to do or how He's going to do it. And so I was in that place. I knew what God wanted to do, but I wasn't quite sure how we were going to do it. And as I was riding up this escalator, I was surprised because all of a sudden the space gave way to something a lot bigger. All of a sudden, I wasn't just looking at this little narrow hallway. All of a sudden, I was looking at the cityscape all around me, and I was intrigued. And so I was excited to walk through the door and see what could be on the other side. So I walked through that little doorway, and all of a sudden it opened up this big hallway, and what I saw next blew my mind. All of a sudden, I was walking through not just a movie theater, but what looked like a little city in the middle of one of the biggest malls in the area. All of a sudden, I wasn't just looking at a place where we could start our church. I was looking at a place where we could continue to be church. We could grow a church in this space to 1,000 people and not have to leave. All of a sudden, God was saying, this is it. This is where you need to be. Now, I'd never experienced a theater church before. I didn't even know it was a thing where you could talk to like a company that rented these spaces out. I just kind of walked through one of those doors and I found a manager and I said, hey, it wasn't too busy. Do you mind showing me around? And so that manager showed me all over the space. She showed me empty spaces that weren't being used anymore, a huge area we use for storage now. And she showed me the auditoriums, and I started seeing a place where God could radically change somebody's life right here in the middle of a movie theater, a place where we could tell people, come as you are, and text in your questions. And over the last 5 years, we've been doing just that. We've been meeting right here in the movie theater. Thanks to your prayers, thanks to your generous support, it has been an amazing journey. We've watched our church grow from a really small core group of around 20 people all the way up to where we're worshiping these Sundays, sometimes around 250 a weekend. The average person coming out is 10 to 20 years disconnected from church. And we've given away roughly $50,000 to local organizations in our community that have made a huge impact right here in Knoxville. Organizations like KARM and Habitat for Humanity and Second Harvest Food for Kids. We've been a part of sponsoring entire schools, sending book bags full of food home to kids. But it gets even better than that, because those things are amazing, and the way we've been able to get in the community has been fun, and you've been a big part of doing that. But what you've really done is you've changed people's lives eternally. See, since starting this church right here in this movie theater, The Point over the last 5 years has gotten to be a part of baptizing 99 people. 99 people connected to the love and the forgiveness of Jesus. 99 people, lives eternally changed. All thanks to your support, allowing us to be right here in this space. God has done incredible things over the last 5 years, and it doesn't just stop with those 99. He's also used us to help raise up other church planters We've raised up 2 church planters so far. One is actually planting right now as we speak in another city. So exciting for us to get to see that happen. The other is finishing up school. And right now we're training our 3rd and 4th church planters right here at The Point and preparing them to go off and plant churches elsewhere. The impact God has had through this place has been amazing, and it wouldn't be possible without your prayers and your generous support. So thank you for being a part of the last 5 years, but what I'm really excited about is I want to share with you what God's going to be doing over the next 5 years. So why don't you come with me? We're going to take a walk to a different spot in the mall. So what's next for the next 5 years? I don't know. My prayer is that the impact continues, but all I know is this. Right now, God has given us a space in the middle of a mall that is going to see 1 million people a year foot traffic walking by our space. Each and every week, roughly 100 people will walk into this space that aren't connected to our church and ask about what we're doing. We're praying that this space becomes an opportunity to disciple people and to see continued outreach. So for right now, I'm excited for the next 5 years, and I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of the first, because we would not be where we are today without you.